2 de Havilland Vampires. One of the most attractive jet fighters the RIAT has ever had. It first flew 75 years ago this year on the 20th of September 1943, the prototype de Havilland DH-100. The Mark I Vampire came into RIAT service a couple of years later, just too late to see war service. Of course, the most distinctive thing about the Vampire is that twin boom configuration. Initially it was known as the Spider Crab before the name was changed, and that layout was chosen to allow a shorter jet pipe and minimise the loss of thrust from the aircraft's single engine, because the RAF's first jet fighter, the Gloucester Meteor, one of which we've also got in the static park here, the fantastic ejection seat test aircraft from Martin Baker at Chalgrove, was a twin-engine machine. The power plant of the Vampire, originally the Halford H1, Frank Halford being de Havilland's main engine man before it became a de Havilland product in its own right as the Goblin. Here they come in for their first pass, and a good chance to see that twin boom layout. Interesting construction, the Vampire. De Havilland, of course, had a great deal of experience of wooden aircraft, perhaps the most famous example being the Mosquito that was so effective in the war years, and the Vampire flies over London. Also based at Odeon was number 54 Squadron, and 70 years ago, this month, July 1948, it undertook a quite amazing deployment, once again in front of us. It was always a superb formation aerobatic mounted. Pilots of the day said a little lacking in power for some manoeuvres and suffering a slight lag in its throttle response. The Vampire FB.5 fighter bomber was introduced in 1949. It served around the world with RAF squadrons in Germany, in the Middle East and the Far East. They were used in counterinsurgency operations against Malayan terrorists. The first two-seat Vampire was the NF-10 night fighter. That wasn't particularly successful, but the T-11 trainer certainly was. It was the first jet on which RAF pilots gained their wings. It replaced the North American Harvard piston engine trainer at the last stage of the flying training school syllabus. Not until 1967 and the arrival of the Holland NAFHS, one of which we've also got in the RAF 100 static display from the NAFHS display team, did the Vampire T-11 finally see retirement from the main training role. The aircraft leading this pair is a two-seat T.55 built for the Swiss Air Force, which represents the Vampire T-11. Experience already on British fighters in World War II, the likes of the Gloucester Gladiator and of course the Spitfire. So they were delighted when another British aircraft came along that they could fly, and Norway bought 62 Vampires. Both of these, however, operated by the Norwegian Air Force Historical Squadron from its base at Rugge in Norway, are ex-Swiss Air Force aircraft, the T.55 I mentioned and the FB.6 fighter bomber following it. But for this RAF 100 season, the Historical Squadron has put them both into RAF markings. The two-seater in the lead, the colours of number 4 Squadron, which operated Vampires as part of the British Air Forces of Occupation in post-war Germany. And the FB.6 is in the colours of number 72 Squadron, which flew Vampires from Odeon, formed numerous formation displays in its own right in its heyday, and then it was based at North Weald in Essex. Norwegian pilots were based at North Weald themselves. During World War II, the historical squadron often keeps its vampires there during the summer season of British air shows. The 72 Squadron is a very appropriate unit to choose. And there they are on the break. Of course, both of these squadrons, these aircraft are vampires now. Downwind to land, shortly putting the wheels down. The beautiful whine of the Goblin engine, much in evidence. The team was founded by Kenneth Orkvisler, and he was the lead pilot in today's display. He's got nearly 15,000 on the Boeing 737. He's now retired from SAS to operate the historical squadron full-time with the two Vampires and the two-seat MiG-15 that they also operate. He's an instructor, a type rating instructor, and an examiner on jets, allowing a number of pilots who wouldn't normally get to fly a jet aircraft of this era the chance to take the controls of one of the sweetest handling jets that many would argue has ever been produced. Kenneth Orkvisler leading them, Jiri Matila Vampires from the Norwegian Air Force Historical Squadron.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, just to let you know, if you would like to see details of the aircraft on display, including type, tail number and squadron information, you can purchase a copy for only £4. These are available at the Blue Programme Pods and official Air Tattoo merchandise outlets located at each service station.